Okay, so today is Thursday, July 25th. It is the last Thursday in July, but I am not going to do that kind of video. I had said, I think last week, I plan on doing that next week. When the bar is done, and I'm like, it is August 1st, we are doing a looking back in July, looking forward to August, etc., etc. We'll get to that when we get to that. But it is kind of neat to think that in 1 week, the bar exam will be done. It is next Tuesday. It is next Wednesday. I have done a lot of studying. I will do some more, just reviewing my outlines, looking at the notes. Genuinely, I think I have this. It's not like I'm super confident, I'm going to go in, I'm going to kick its ass. I'm like, no, it's not cocky. But I feel good. I feel like, because they even say, you're not going to, like, you don't need to know everything. You're not going to know everything. But I feel like when it comes to the essay topics, I know a lot. It's like when it comes to the big ticket items, I feel like I know them pretty well. And even then, some of like the sub shit, which you might still see on an essay and you'll definitely see in the multiple choice. Like, again, I feel like I know these very well. I feel like on an essay, I will either say, cool, I absolutely know this, or I know this well enough to bullshit. Like, I might have to YOLO a rule statement for a few topics, but I could still say, like, all right, this is my understanding of the rule, and a lot of it is your analysis. Like, if this is the rule you're going with, how are you applying it to the facts? I think I can do that. You can't really do that in multiple choice. It's either you know it or you don't. I mean, you can still get lucky, I suppose. But even then, you're like, okay, I understand like what it's testing, because it's not just going to tell you, here's the Civ Pro questions, here's the Crim questions. And some of them, I mean, when it's Crim, you're like, okay, you're either testing criminal law, Crim Pro, or evidence. And then if it's a Civ Pro question, it could be Civ Pro, evidence. It might look like it's a contracts question, all kinds of bullshit. But like, I understand what you're asking. I know this topic. Is this testing like a weird wrinkle? Is this a super simple one? And if this is a wrinkle, is this a wrinkle that I actually know? And if like I've gotten it wrong enough times that the right answer is now in my head, it's something that when I was looking over my outlines, I'm like, oh, I remember you. Boom. That's what I'm hoping. Like, I have a lot of information that's like that. I think I've got it. That's a very, very good feeling to have. Other things, I'm still playing Conquer. I'm on the war chapter, so it's the penultimate chapter of the game. As I described it to Clay, the game sucks, but I love it. Like, is it fun? It feels bad to say. I'm like, I don't know if I could really call the game fun. Like, some of the things are kind of fun on paper, but are kind of ass to play because, like, the game's controls and shit. There's other times where I'm like, this was not too bad, and I almost kind of enjoyed it, but it wasn't a particular... Like, there's one thing where it's like, there's a dude with dynamite strapped to his back, and you have to push him through a bunch of obstacles. You're like, that does not sound fun, but it wasn't as bad as I thought, so I guess it almost was. That's kind of how the game is, but it's so charming and funny and entertaining. I'm like, it gets a lot of leeway that it probably fucking shouldn't. So there we go. In terms of writing, so the two big projects, Orichalcum and Severance. So with Severance, the last main character design was finished. There will still be a few other designs that we'll need to have, but the main ones are... Sorry, face itching. The main ones are all complete. So we're going to start moving forward with sprites. I actually got a sprite back today, which still... It was interesting, because I'm like, okay, this is not exactly how I wanted this to look, so I have some changes that need to be made. However, for other reasons, it's also a sprite I think we can really use, so we'll keep this and pay for this one, but please also make the changes. And under the artist, like, bet. So that's kind of fun how that worked out. Sorry, Severance. Orichalcum, still making progress. I had a chapter that I thought I finished, and then I had Clay look over, because Clay knows the story very well, so he knows. It's very good to have a Y guy, someone who knows the story really well, who could say, no, this does work, or this does not work for ABC. And he's like, okay, this is really good. Here's the things you need to fuck with. This is an action scene. You should probably do a bit more with it because this enemy goes down really quick. Fine, I will make adjustments to that. Don't know when, but I will. I'm excited. I did revisions on my query letter. I got the revisions back. I'm like, cool. It's a lot better. Could still be better. I think it's a lot better now. That's how that's going. What else is there? Biden dropped out. So like it's something I say a lot in this channel. Like, I'm not here to talk about politics. I'm here to talk about video games and books and Worm and all that shit. I have to talk about this, and not the political angle, just again the story, weird, crazy narrative angle. I don't think in my lifetime I have ever seen a president not run for re-election. Off the top of my head, I think the last time this actively happened, not someone serving one term because they didn't get re-elected, the last time that happened was Trump, but someone being president and not running for re-election, the last time I think that happened was Grover Cleveland, which weirdly enough, he was president, didn't run, someone else like ran, whatever the fuck, and then the next time he ran again and then he won. It's just weird how that happened. So this is new. And throughout this entire like election cycle, like, which has really been like 2 years, 1.5 years, I've just heard people say, I don't like Biden and I don't like Trump. I don't want to see Donald Trump win. I don't want Biden to still be president of the United States. We're damned if we do, damned if we don't, like either way. And it's been so interesting seeing that, like, just malaise about the candidates. And now at the 11th hour, someone new shows up. I'm like, huh. This is either a very good or very bad strategy, because it's a very bad strategy because at the 11th hour, you're just shoving someone else in there and they don't have a lot of time to make an impression. Excuse me. And the fact that for so long, it's been so long that people have been saying, like, we don't want this dude to run, we don't want this dude to run, and then the party is saying, please don't run, please don't run, please don't run. It makes you look messy and ununified, and maybe that's exactly what they are, but it's not a great look. So you really want to make sure your candidate can make like a splash and a great impression, because otherwise you just look like a mess. Whereas after the near assassination, the Republicans are super unified, as they should be after what happened. Alternatively, it's a great strategy because you're saying, look, you guys were saying you don't want Biden and you don't want Trump. Well, there's no more Biden, but there's a Trump. But have you met Harris? I'm assuming it's Harris. I don't know if they've officially said. I think maybe they have, but I don't know. And it's like, hey, you guys didn't want either of them. Here's someone else. And while she doesn't have a lot of time to establish herself, she's also doesn't have a lot of time to trip and fall on her face. So please vote for this person. And I find that really interesting. We'll see if it works. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But also, because of this, there's less focus on the assassination attempt, which on the one hand could just be a, hey, that's something that was giving Trump just like a lot of cred. Let's see if we can have like focus somewhere else. Or maybe it's a big conspiracy thing where it's like, hey, there's this probe going on at the Secret Service, as well there should be. A former president and a current candidate was nearly fucking assassinated. It's like, let's not focus on that, and let's focus on the new candidate. It's like, narratively, it's become so interesting now. And I was seeing like Trump on his Twitter is like, no, Biden can't leave. This is bullshit. And you can make the argument that it's because, like maybe he's scared of Harris. I don't fucking know. I really like the theory that he just wanted to run it back against Biden, and he feels like he's being robbed of that. And like I saw a meme about like Kuwabara going into Yusuke's funeral in the first episode of Yu Yu Hakusho, and like, this is Trump right now. Like, you can't leave me, Urameshi. You had to be like, I don't know. It's, again, like, I don't like to talk about politics. I don't want to get into the whole, like, all the policies and conspiracies and all that shit. It's just from a pure narrative perspective. this got a lot more interesting, and I went from the election's gonna happen and it is what it is, so like, oh, this is a fucking wrinkle. Like, from just a third party perspective, I want to know what the fuck is gonna happen. So I thought I could kind of bring that up. Speaking of stories that have been super interesting, I just finished my video on Worm 26. I finished 27. I almost finished all of 28 in a day. I'll probably do that later today. I'm very excited. Evo was cool. I didn't watch as much of it as I did last year, but I saw the Evo mode with Hugo fucking jumping over Ken. Like, that was cool as hell. Heihachi's back in Tekken, and from what I understand, there's two groups. There are people who are like, why the fuck is he here? Like, that, the ending of Tekken 7 with his death was so good, what the fuck? And the other side going, okay, this is just fucking funny. This is cool. Lucy is gonna be in Guilty Gear, and it sounds like there's people who are not excited for that. I still haven't played Strive, and I really want to. I loved Cyberpunk. It was weird, just like, as I was watching it, like, I like this fine, and then by the time it was done and I thought about it, I was like, no, I absolutely loved it. So I think that's really neat. The funny thing was, I was listening to I Really Want to Stay in Your House the night before, and then Lucy ends up in the game. Like, that's just kind of a neat coincidence. Is this song not going to be in Guilty Gear? Is it going to be a completely new song? Is it going to be that song? Is it going to be that song, but, like, remixed to be a fight theme? I don't know, but that sounds cool as shit. Talked about that. Oh, yeah, fucking Y2K happened. What was that? Was that like last Friday or something, where like all of Microsoft crapped out? I've heard it referred to as like Blue Screen Friday or something like that. It was like, huh, it took 24.5 years, but I guess we finally got Y2K. Like, what the fuck? I don't know. I just thought that was kind of neat. Yeah, I think that's it. I take the bar exam in less than a week, and next week I get to talk about how it's done. I can't really go into the specifics of the exam because I believe that's something they actually say is like, hey, don't talk about the questions and your answers and blah, 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 blah. So I won't be able to do that as much as I would love to be able to just talk about it and vent about it. But I can talk about how it's done. Look for, oh yeah, multiverses. I should probably bring that up. Samurai Jack is officially in the game. Beetlejuice is officially coming to the game. Like, I don't want to end that sentence like that. According to some of the leaks and data mines, like the Powerpuff Girls' render is like there. Same with Nubia, who I'm not super familiar with. She's like a Wonder Woman character. There was someone else I think there was a render for, but I don't. Oh, I think it's Marceline. I don't know if there have been any voice lines that have been data mined. I've been trying to find some because I think those are really fun. I haven't seen anything new about Ruby, so I don't know if it just hasn't been found, if she has been scrubbed from the code after like the Viz Media thing, or if like, no, she's no bullshit, that's still happening. I hope so, because I would like to play her in here, but I'll also feel kind of dirty if it happens, but it is what it is. But that's this video. That's this Thursday. Have a good Thursday, a good weekend, etc., 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 and take care.